welcome back to my channel. So today I'm giving my invertebrates either tank upgrades or makeovers, starting with my millipedes. Now my millipedes did used to be in a fairly large exoterra back when I had a larger species of millipede, and when he passed away I didn't need a massive exoterra for really tiny species, so I did put them into a slightly smaller enclosure, and that also happened to be when we moved house. Now though, I do want them back into like a display type enclosure, and I bought this one. So this I picked up on Facebook Marketplace for £15 I think, and it's a small low exoterra. Now exoterras don't always make the best enclosures for millipedes, one because you do have to modify them to keep in the humidity, and also they're not really the deepest enclosures, obviously because you've got the doors on the front, and I wouldn't recommend keeping a bigger species of millipede in this, things like giant African millipedes, just because they do require a fair bit of soil. But because I have smaller species, things like bumblebee millipedes, and I also plan on doing a gradual build up of soil and making it deeper towards the back, it should be fine. So I don't actually have an exoterra background to go with this one, so we had to cut down one from a different enclosure, but I hate these backgrounds. I think they're ugly, and I did think about buying a separate background, either a cork one or a core one, and then I thought I'm not spending £15 on a background that's going to get almost completely covered in soil anyway, so we're just going to put up with this one. Perfect. Now this enclosure, because it was secondhand, does have like sticky marks on the outside and the bottom. I'm not worried about trying to take that off because I'm not going to see that anyway, but I've given all of the inside a good clean, and now it's time to put in the soil. Okay, so this is what my millipedes are in currently. I'm going to use all of the existing soil and leaves and branches, and my rainbow millipede Twister is already on the surface, so that is one less to dig around and look for. I love her. She's always out and about and always on the surface and really active, so she is a firm favourite. So you're really not supposed to go digging around looking for your millipedes. It can be really harmful to them if you catch them when they're molting. Obviously if you're trying to change enclosures, you can't really help that, and I can't just tip all of this straight into the new enclosure, so I'm going to have to be very careful and piece by piece go through and try to find them very delicately, so that's going to take me a while. I'll be back when I've hopefully found the other two. Wait, how rude of me, I totally forgot I found a baby bumblebee millipede a few months ago, so technically I'm looking for 3, maybe even more millipedes in here somewhere. But that is their finished enclosure. Very basic, but that's how they like it. I might actually put in a bit more topsoil. I've got some more downstairs, so I might add a bit more to the back, but that is their finished enclosure. I also have a heat mat to put on, and a thermostat, and a hygrometer, but I'll do that after the video because that's not very interesting. But now it's time to put the millipedes back in. The ones I could find, just the adults. There probably is still babies mixed in with the soil, but far too small for me to find. Also, all of their springtails are still in the soil. I put all of that back in, so let's put in the adults. Oh, and I also need to cling film the mesh on the top to keep in the humidity better, so I'll also do that off camera because that is not very interesting either. Okay, so it's time to give my snail enclosure a makeover too, and if you remember back to the first video where I showed him in this enclosure, it was really pretty. It had live plants, and I was never expecting that to last because 1, snails will bulldoze any live plants, and 2, I'm pretty awful when it comes to keeping plants alive, so I knew that was not always going to stay looking as nice as it did, and it's time to make it a bit more practical. So basically what I'm going to do, I have these fake plants I'm going to stick in, I'm going to take slushy out, take everything in the enclosure out, give the soil a good turn and also top it up because the soil was kind of up to this rim here and also built up towards the back, and as you can see it's got pretty low, so I need to put in some more topsoil and also just rearrange everything because this was kind of lent up like that as like a climbing log, and because slushy is so heavy now this gets knocked down, so I just need to rearrange everything and hopefully make it look a bit nicer. I don't have any tub or anything to put slushy in. I really should get something like that, but I'm just going to stick them into here. You don't even fit. Now I'll just stand here for 5 minutes holding this until slushy gets onto the branch. I also just wanted to add, I threw out his old cuttlefish. I always like to have at least 2 in the enclosure, and I reached down to put some more in and I'm completely out, so I've had to order more. It should be here tomorrow and then I'll put some more in. But that is it for today's video. I know it's not been my usual content, but I hope you guys still enjoyed. I will be back next week with my usual rat and mouse content. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in my next video.